Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and just a quick take, regarding the meeting between Zelensky and Trump. So I watched the whole thing already, the whole presser and the question and answers, and yeah, I just want to have this very casual chit chat with you guys about my opinions about what the hell I do I actually think about this, and of course the most obvious take that I've already been telling you guys is that Ukraine has no interest in peace. They only want Russia to actually give up everything and return all the land back to Ukraine, which will never ever happen because Russia has already written into their constitution that the four oblasts, Kherson, Zaporizhia, Donetsk, and Lugansk, will be part of the Russian Federation, which means that even Putin wants to return it to Ukraine, he cannot, because he will have to go through the State Duma. They have to have a vote on it. Their parliament have to vote on it, and this probably will never get through. And especially they have already invested a lot of money in rebuilding, repairing roads, like rebuilding, but particularly Mariupol, which is their PR city, to show that returning to Russia is a good thing. So that's the PR city. Of course, most of the parts of the war zones are still very broken. So this is not gonna ever happen. And so this rumor coming out from the White House through CNN, they have sources claiming that Trump's administration's perception from this very frank conversation with Zelensky seems to give them the feeling that what Ukraine wants is escalation rather than peace. Although Donald Trump, of course, as he always does, he tried to be he tried to word things in a way that will help with negotiation. So he always say that Ukraine wants peace and everything, but clearly I have already said since 2022, Ukraine knows that they cannot win the war. So the game is to draw NATO into the war. They have tried various tricks and false information, misinformation, misinformed intel, or deliberately created intel to create more fears and whatnot. For example, if you have been following the war in 2022, you probably will have remembered that Belarus is about to invade Ukraine to open a new front. Never happened. So so that's one example. So and the very slow frontline move with very conservative way of fighting by Russia is exactly because of this. They cannot conquer Ukraine at a very fast pace as well. Even if they can, which I believe they can, they just need to lose more people. They just steamroll through. But problem is that if the Russians conquer Ukraine too fast, it will trigger alarms in the NATO side, and then NATO might enter war. So this is the strategic problem that Putin faces, because I personally do not buy the entire concept that Russia have interest to invade westward after Ukraine, into Poland or the Baltics to continue the war and conquer the whole of Europe. Russia do not have the kind of manpower and military power to actually do it. They can't. I mean, conquering the Baltics is doable, probably very easily. However, that would just literally bring them into a direct war with NATO, and that will be World War III. So I don't think that's going to happen unless the Baltic states get themselves into some trouble and NATO disavow them. So that is also possible because the Baltic states is a bit like crazy. The Estonia, Lithuania, they're a bit unhinged with their anti-Russia. It's like a bit overdoing this anti-Russia thing. So that might create some problems in the future. Not yet though, not now. Ukraine war would be over first before this Baltic state or the Baltic wars may happen. But for now, no, Ukraine have no chance. No chance of winning the war, and we already see it in the frontline changes report. If you have followed DPA, probably you must be watching DPA's frontline changes report if you are watching this. I don't think you know. People who don't follow the frontline changes or the SIBRAP will actually watch this video. That's my opinion. But if you do press the like and subscribe button, especially subscribe. So the Ukrainians definitely wanted Tomahawk. The thing is we are reaching a point where there's almost nothing much more that the United States can give. They have already given them the HIMARS and the M230, I believe M230, which is the HIMARS and the track HIMARS, which is the M230. Then the multiple launch rocket system. They gave them the super long range ATACMS missiles, which then now they want Tomahawk. Tomahawk is a cruise missile, so this will be this is not on its own super special. Ukraine has already launched multiple long-range drones, successfully hitting targets, although the explosions may not necessarily be super big, but is big enough to hit soft targets like oil refineries, oil facilities. There's also other missiles like Storm Shadows and whatnot that has already done its limited damage. So clearly, it's not going to do a lot. Tomahawk on its own. Like Russia have even more impressive arrays of missiles and ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and it has not stopped Ukraine from continuing to build more drones domestically. So what can Ukraine do? But to attract more retaliation strike from Russia. So I have my doubts that this is going to go anywhere. And Donald Trump, I know a number of you guys who follow me, don't like Trump. And I understand. Trump is not the easiest person to like. But I have followed Trump for a long time. And I believe that I can understand him quite well. Trump is not a pushover. He knows what Zelensky is. He knows what the Ukrainian plan is. He's talking to both sides because he's just trying to find a way for everybody to just have a step down, so that no one is actually humiliated. Everybody can declare a victory. The war can end. People can stop dying. I think Trump to me, is someone that really wants peace. He just wants the war to end. And because he himself is never have been a war hawk. He's against the Gulf War. He don't like the Afghan war. He don't like the wars in Iraq. He don't understand why ISIS took forever. And yeah, he has been trying to end all the wars all around the world. And people can deny that deny him the credit, but it's pretty scary when the United States president come to you, even if you're India or Pakistan or Thailand, where they say that if you want to continue the war, we will raise the tariffs to 200% for all your export to the United States. If you feel that is okay, if you can carry on your war. And none of them wanted to do that. Because the economic damage is just not worth it to continue the war. So that's how Trump stops the wars. And the two wars that he is unable to do so is the Israel Hamas war in Gaza and the Ukraine war and Russia, because Russia is sanction proof for now, and Hamas don't even give a damn about sanctions because they are already blockaded by Israel, and Israel is a military ally. He cannot squeeze them, and he can't squeeze Ukraine because the European allies wanted to back Ukraine. So Trump made all of the Europe to pay for whatever Ukraine wants. So that is the trick, to put pressure on Europe and to let Europe concede first. because United States is not an ally of Ukraine. I'm finding it very funny when I look at all the pro-Ukrainian messages or posts on Twitter. They seem to have this very weird understanding of reality. They think that Trump has betrayed Ukraine. But how do you betray someone when you have no allegiance at the first place? No, you have no loyalty to at the first place. United States have no reason to be loyal to Ukraine. Ukraine have all the reasons to be loyal to United States at the first place, because of all the help that United States first give. So it shouldn't be the other way. The one that is giving was United States, not Ukraine. So this entire role that Ukraine, a post-Soviet state that was invaded by Russia, asked for help from Europe and from United States, and Europe and United States provided the help to help them, let them defend themselves. And somehow now the whole world owes Ukraine something. That is a very bizarre way of thinking. This is really corrupted. It felt very woke, and it feels really nonsensical. If not United States war. And United States and Ukraine is not an allied country. They do not have allied treaties, and they are not in an alliance. United States have not declared any guarantees of Ukraine. Not like, for example, lately, United States have guaranteed Qatar. So, any attack on Qatar is an attack on United States. This is not applied on Ukraine. Ukraine is not part of NATO. So this Trump betrayed Ukraine kind of nonsense is like really weird. The pro-Ukrainians, even the Americans who are pro-Ukrainians are like totally like going insane, saying that just because United States don't want to throw more of their tax dollars to Ukraine, so now so Trump is the worst president of all time, kind of things. Like, why the win condition? Even if you give them the Tomahawk, Ukraine is not going to turn the tide of war. It's not enough. The only way right now for Ukraine to even have parity in combat, in military combat right now, is NATO entering war. And even NATO entering war may not necessarily be able to turn the tide. It might only be enough to create a stalemate. That's what I think. And more likely than not, it will just cause World War III, where nuclear missiles will start flying all over the place, and then millions and millions of people is going to die. Ukraine is not worth millions and millions of people's life, which is why NATO is not going to escalate and enter the war. Europe may say whatever they want, but it's all a political game for them. I think none of them really cares about Ukraine in that way. So I think the pro-Ukrainian people, the folks, especially the Ukrainians who are very nationalistic, have to put have to weigh a bit, to be a bit realistic and pragmatic about what's possible and what's not possible. And even Biden did not do as much as I believe he should be doing. I think that Biden should have done even more, but he did not. So don't even talk about Trump. And given how the conservative waves is sweeping United States, the next president after Trump is likely to be Republican as well, most likely part of the MAGA movement. So so even if Ukraine can hold on for another 3 years, they're not going to get the kind of help that they think they're going to get. So yeah, I don't think that it's going to be a deal. And Putin seems have the phone call just 1 day before this meeting with Zelensky, between Trump and Zelensky. They spoke for 2.5 hours, and Putin continued to talk more about the future after the Ukraine war, enticing Trump with more deals, more trade, trying to sweeten this possibility, and let Trump, entice Trump and his administration to end the war in favor of Russia. So that, just end the war, whatever it is, just end the war. And then immediately, United States can benefit from all the trade with Russia. And I think this is what Putin is trying to do. and trying to to manipulate the Trump administration into ending the war as it is. Even as it is, Russia may not necessarily consider absolute victors, but they have already won land. So in Ukraine's case, they will already see it as a a massive defeat. So it will be a treaty of surrender. So but like I say, the Ukrainian side have no intention of ending the fight. They want to escalate. They want to fight more. They just do not have the manpower. The population's will to fight is not enough, and they don't have enough money to fight. So, and the war is being propped up now artificially by European support and Western support. I'm not even sure if there's US support anymore, other than maybe there's still intel and satellite imageries, but it's mostly European support right now for Ukraine. So without the prop up, the support, the loans and grants coming from the West, I think Ukraine would have already lost 3 to 4 times the amount of land they have lost right now. So yeah, so it's a battle of attrition, but however, it's not what the Ukrainians think. It's a battle of attrition between Europe and Russia, and not on the battlefield between the Ukrainian military and the Russian military. Anyway, just some random thoughts I want to vomit out of my brain. Let me know what you think in the comment. Share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next update.